So on the lab worksheet in pencil, go ahead and put your name where it asks for your name. When I assign you to a group, and they're not going to be the people sitting around you, we're going to randomly assign some groups. You'll then have to get your partner's first names on here, where it asks for your partners. This is lab number 13. Please put that there, lab 13. Okay, next thing I want you to do is go to the very back of your lab. You'll see there is a target. I want you to tear it off, remove it from the packet, and then send them down this way. You're not going to keep those. That will be given to your group at the end of the lab when you need it. So pass them down, take the target off, send them down. I don't want you to hold on to it because then it just gets you into trouble later. We'll wait until you need it, and then I'll give you one per group when you need it. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let me explain what you're doing in this lab. You can see the lab's title is Shoot for Your Grade. You're actually going to be predicting where a ball lands on the floor, and if your ball lands on the target, you're going to get extra credit. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rings. If it lands in that center circle, you've got 5 points extra credit. If it lands in this circle, it's 4. 3, 2, 1. Outside the bullseye, nothing. You get no extra credit. It will not affect your lab grade, but you don't get any bonus. Okay. That is done as a group. So with your group, you have to make sure you're very careful about the measurements you're making and the calculations you're doing in the lab. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to even land on the paper. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're basically just going to follow the directions in the lab. I am not going to give you much instruction at all. You and your group will follow the directions. And when you get to step 13, that's where you need to stop and call Mrs. Famoso over. Okay? So when you get to step 13, you're not doing anything more until you call me over. I'm going to help your group get step 13, 14, 15, and 16 done. That's what I'm going to do with you. You're going to do the rest. Let me explain how we're going to set up the equipment in this lab, and then I'll get you in a group, and you're just going to start going. It is not a full 2-period lab. I had one group in my second period class that was able to get it done in 1 period. They got the whole thing done in 1 period, turned in. That's kind of unusual. Usually it takes about a period and maybe 10 more minutes of another class, and then it's done. What we'll do tomorrow after you finish the lab is I'll give you some time to work on the review assignment, which was in Google Classroom and our Google Classroom post here, due Friday. Okay, so for Friday, you have to get the review assignment for Unit 5 done, finishing out your Unit 5 packet, which is a combination of conceptual questions, multiple choice, and show work. And then Monday, we're taking your test on Unit 5 on projectiles. The second period tomorrow, we're going to start Unit 6. I got to keep moving. Otherwise, we don't end up finishing the course before your Regents exam. And I want to be able to give you time in June to review with me in class, not after school. Okay? So let's go back to this lab. In your groups, you're going to be given one of these ramps that my dad built for me several years ago. And you're going to set it up. I'll help you set it up on your desk. And you're going to set it up so that way this piece, which is called a ball holder, we use these in our AP Physics labs to create collisions between things. We're going to move that out of the way. There's not going to be any type of a collision happening. And what we're going to do is set this up on the edge of the desk. We're going to take this type of clamp, which is called a C-clamp, and we're going to clamp it to the edge of the desk. Maybe more like this. And what we're going to do, you're going to be given a meter stick, and that's really all you need to do this. So you'll have it clamped there. I'll give you a steel ball, and you're just going to follow the directions on what you're going to do. This is a ramp. The steel ball will start here at the top of the ramp, and what eventually will happen is it will roll down this ramp, speeding up as it goes down the ramp. You see here at the end of the ramp, there's a short little piece of horizontal wood. That takes that final velocity of the ball at the end and changes it into a horizontal velocity. Eventually, it will come off the ramp, and then it will make a projectile, a horizontally fired projectile down to the ground. And what your group is going to try to do is predict where the steel ball, when it's released from up here, where it's going to hit the floor. And that's where you get the extra credit, is if you've done it all correctly. I walk you through the steps to predict where it is, and you're going to show all your work as it tells you to. So just take a look, for example, at question number 6. You see a number 6, it says, using the length of the ramp in meters and the average time, calculate the average speed of the ball as it rolls down the ramp. And then in parentheses, it tells you what to show in order to get credit. So those are the things I'll need to see in order to give you credit for step 6. Now, do you see at the beginning of that question, it says, using the length of the ramp and the average time, calculate average speed. What I'm telling you to use are the givens. Those are the only givens you'll have for that question. That's it. You can't use anything else. That is true with every problem where I ask you to do a calculation. I'm going to tell you what the givens are that you should be using to do the calculation in a group. Okay? Now let's just review what I said. Here's the table. Here's the floor. And you're going to have this ramp set up here. This is an exaggerated view. The ball is going to start here. It's going to roll down. It's going to get to this point. And at that point, in step 7, what you're doing is you are finding its final velocity at the bottom of the ramp. That's what you're doing in step 7, is you're finding the final velocity at the end of the ramp. Then the ball will continue moving forward. This final velocity will become the initial velocity of that projectile in the x direction. It will then fall down to the ground through a distance of dy. It will go out through a distance of dx. And you're going to figure out how long it takes it to fall as part of what you need to do in order to come up with this. So this and this, those are the same things. The VF at the bottom of the ramp will become the VI in the X direction for your projectile. The ball will become a projectile. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yes? Okay. So I'm not going to tell you anything more than that. You're going to just read. Read carefully as a group to do the lab. If you read it carefully and you work together, you're each getting an individual grade, but the prediction piece, which starts happening, or the testing your prediction, which helps you determine your grade on the lab, will be done once you get to step 13 and you raise your hand for me to come over and help you. But other than that, I'm going to just kind of turn you loose to follow the steps. One other thing. On the second page of the lab, you're going to see that there is a table here. And it says, using your knowledge of horizontally launched projectiles, complete this table for the steel ball as it's being launched off the bottom of the ramp. I'm going to tell you right now, this table will not be 100% filled in. This is for your givens. You don't necessarily know everything when you are at step 10. You might be calculating some other things in steps 11 and 12, which will then go back into this table later. Okay? So when you do this, at step 10, you're not going to know everything, but you'll know most of it, just like we do when we do a projectile question. All right? Questions for me? All right, so here's what we're going to do. I think we have 20 students here today, so we're going to count off to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3,
Okay, the ones are going to be a group, the twos are a group, and so on and so forth. I got to set things up for you though. Now, one other thing, because we are doing this lab over 2 days, the other thing I want you to do here on the top of your worksheet is write down the ramp number that you're going to be given. How are you going to know what your ramp number is? I'll show you. Your group needs to record it because I want to make sure you get the same ramp tomorrow to work with. And you'll go to the same location tomorrow to finish it because you'll have to reset this up. On the back of your ramp here, I have written a number. So this ramp is ramp number 3. Every ramp has a different number on it, 1 to 6. You have to write down your group's ramp number here so that way tomorrow you get the same ramp back. And then you can set it back up in the same location to finish the lab tomorrow. Okay, otherwise things may not be quite right when you go to do your predictions. And then you lose your extra credit on the lab. Okay, questions for me? All right, so let's get group 1 over here. So you're going to pick up all your stuff. You're not going to go back to your seat. You are not going to be sitting down at all in this lab. If you need to write stuff down, you can work on the back lab desks, but all the ramps are going to be set up on the low desks. And no one is sitting down because you need to collect data. Put your phone away. I shouldn't even see it. It should be locked up in your locker. Okay, so that's what the first group needs. Let's get group 2. Here. Set up their ramp here. I'll get you the clamp. You can start clamping that. Group 3. I'm going to set it up here. The C-clamp. Group 4 is going to work here. I got to get you guys the C-clamp. And group 5 is going to work here. I got to get you folks the C-clamp. Meter sticks. That's what you need to start with. You got to clamp your ramp down to the table. Clamp it on that side. Clamp it on this side. Meter stick. Meter stick. You guys need a meter stick. You guys need a meter stick here. Make sure you get your partner's names first before you do anything else. And then write down your ramp number. Get your partner's names. I'll come around and help you get it clamped in place. And we're going to work together. Work together. Get your ramp number written down and your partner's names. I'll get it clamped there for you. Shane, give me the clamp. I'm sorry? It's right there on the back corner. Ramp number 1. Get the ramp number and your partner's names down on your worksheets. Then you can start making your measurements. Got it? Yep, you're good. From here to there. You guys got it clamped? Yep, we're good. Keep going. Follow the directions. Work as a group. Someone in the group is going to need to get a stopwatch off their Chromebook. So one person in the group can grab their Chromebook and open up a stopwatch app. You only need one person to do that. Make sure you don't drop any digits. When I tell you to measure, don't drop any digits. You just move the decimal. When you're doing your conversions, just move the decimal. You don't have to show the work to do it. When you're ready for the steel ball, let me know. I'll bring one over to you. You ready? Once you got your times, you can get no, that hits the floor. It's the end of the ramp, so you gotta catch it. Folks, when I give you the steel ball and you're timing it going down the ramp, you do not want it to leave the table. So make sure you catch it at the end of the ramp. You guys all set? Okay, so you have a stopwatch. And then once you've caught it, you've done it for what, 5 times? Then give me the ball back. Ready for the ball? Ready for it? Okay. Once you've got your 5 times, let me know. Okay, when you get your 5 times, just from here to here, you gotta catch it off the end. Give me the steel ball back so you don't lose it. You guys ready for your times? Don't drop any digits. You're gonna keep them all. Just move the decimal in number of places. Here's the steel ball for these 5 times. Once you get those 5 times, give me the ball back so you don't lose it. Okay. Make sure you catch it here at the end so it doesn't go on the floor.